Comet charts are a fantastic way of being able to show the year-on-year difference with a little bit of visual flair. And as you can see from what we have in front of us, we have a comet looking mark and the tail shows the difference year on year. So it's a really nice way of being able to show that difference in a way that isn't utilized all that often. So that's what we'll be looking at today. Hey, welcome back to Rather Be Visin. My name is Sam, and today we're going to be taking a look at how you can create a comet chart. As I said in the intro, comet charts are fantastic at being able to show sort of year-on-year difference in a way that's got a little bit more of a visual flair. So without further ado, let's hop straight into Tableau and start building this out. Okay, so here we are. I'm just connected to the classic EU Superstore, and the first thing we want to do is highlight our max year. So we always want to have a look at our highest year. You don't have to do that for every single time you build a comet chart. You can obviously build it however you want, but for this example, we're going to have a look at our max year and then the year before. So I'm going to come over to the drop-down menu. I'm going to create a calculated field, and in here, I'm going to call this my max year. What I'm going to do is a fixed level of detail calculation. I'm going to have that as fixed max year of order date, and then finish that off. So that's my max year. Click apply on there. I've now got that down in my data pane. Okay, so the next calculation we want to do is build a true, false, a Boolean field to say whether the year we're looking at is the max year or the year before that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another calculated field. I'm going to call this last 2 years, and I'm going to say, is the year of my order date greater than or equal to my max year minus 1. Click apply on that, and you can see we've now got that Boolean value up here. So I'm going to bring that onto filters, and I'm going to say true for that. And then if I bring in my order date, you can see we've got our 2 years in here. So now let's build our calculated fields to be able to start building out those comets. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring through my max year sales. And again, I'm going to do a fixed level of detail calculation here. So I'm going to fix this onto subcategory. And then I'm going to say sum if my year of order date is equal to my max year. Then I want to pull through my sales and end that, and then finish that off with that curly bracket. So what we're doing here is fixing this at the subcategory level. We're saying if my year of order date is equal to my max year, then I want to pull through sales, and then we're wrapping that up in a sum. So if I click apply on that and OK, if I bring in my max year sales and say show me, I can see that I've got my values in there for my max year. So we don't need to worry about the year that we've got up here just at the moment. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this one, and then I'm going to come in and edit it, and I'm going to say I want last year sales, and this time we're just going to say is it the same as my max year minus 1, and if I click apply on that and OK, now when I bring in my last year sales, you can see I've got different values here. Let's get rid of that up here. So I've got my last year sales and my max year, so the current or the largest year that we've got within this data set. Finally, what we need to do is just create our year-on-year difference, and then we can start to build out the chart. So again, we're going to come up here, create a calculated field. We'll call this year-on-year difference, and we'll take my max year sales minus my last year sales. Click apply on that, and if we bring that into our measure values, we can see we've got the difference there. And if I bring in my subcategory, let's spin that round, you can see we've now got our max year for each subcategory, our last year for each subcategory, and then the difference. So now let's hop into a new sheet and start building out this view. Okay, so hop into a new sheet. I'm just going to call this Comet Chart. And what we want to do is firstly bring in our last 2 years onto the filters. set that to true. Now what we're going to do is bring in our sales onto columns because we want our sales coming across the page. And then I'm going to bring in my subcategory onto rows, and you can see we've now got the bars for sales. Now, what we want to do is change this to be a line chart. And at the moment, it's going all over the place because it's plotting our sales through the subcategories. So what we want to do is change the way that this is being pathed. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our order date onto path. And so now this is going to give us the start point and the end point, and we're going from last year to this year. So now we've got these straight lines coming along. So we're starting to get that Comet chart built out. Next, we're going to take our year of order date, we're going to hold down Control and drag that onto size, and you can see we've now got our comets. So the larger value has got a greater point, and you can see we've got these tails going between them. So they look like comets flying through the air, showing our different values and the difference year on year. So you can see if it's got a longer tail, then it's had a greater improvement year on year. And we have got one that's going backwards, so we can see that the larger point is earlier, or at the start of that comet, so it's going backwards. But in order to make that a bit clearer to see, what we can do is drag in our year-on-year difference onto color, and if we come in and edit the colors on this, let's change this to be 2 steps, and maybe we want to change this to be red blue. If we click apply on that, we can now see that we've got our comets. Our envelopes has gone backwards, so we're very able to quickly pull that one out. And that's how you build the Comet chart. So really straightforward. So you build those level of details to fix it, looking at a subcategory and pulling through those sales values. And then the main thing is to build it as a line chart. Make sure you've got that filter for just the last 2 years, and then you put your year onto path to get those lines going straight across. Hopefully that was useful. If it was, please do let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers for watching.